Hello everyone, Maxis here. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver. Today we're just going to be going over some of the miscellaneous things I skipped over, either unintentionally or intentionally because days of the week. So, starting off we have this guy. Shaddy Batty. Yeah, I'll trade you Batty for a shard. If you bring me some shards, I'll give you 3 Batties, yeah? That guy is a juggler. We are going to actually be battling characters who are jugglers in the future, but this one does not battle us. Instead, berries for shards. He will give us 3 berries, as he said. Red shards, he will give us a cherry berry, a pecha berry, and a lepa berry. This is very useful as the lepa berry restores 10 PP on your moves. It doesn't really seem like you're going to be getting PP restore on moves, but as we get into the game, we get much stronger moves that have less PP. The Oran, Chesto, and Wiki berries are given if you trade a blue shard. I don't particularly find these useful. If you're doing a strategy where you use the move Rest, the Chesto berry is pretty helpful, but the Chesto berry can be supplemented by an item we will be able to buy in the shops eventually. The Rost, Lum, and Aguav berry are given by green shards. These are interesting as the Lum berry heals every status condition, and is a held item, so it can be useful for a similar strategy to the Rest, or if the opponent accidentally gets a status condition on you. The Rost berry just cures burn, and the Aguav berry will increase your HP by 12.5% if your Pokemon does not like bitter taste. You'll be able to find this out with your Pokemon's characteristics, and it's a whole table. Very, very weird and annoying complex. Even then, it's not worth it in my opinion, because the 12.5% HP restore is nothing compared to another item that he gives out from a different shard. In Generation 7, they buffed this to 50%, which if it was 50% HP restored, I'd say this is worth it. But it's not, so I don't think it's really that worth it to go for. And then, for the yellow shard, he will give you an Aspear berry, which defrosts Pokemon, Citrus berry, which restores a Pokemon's HP by 33%, which is amazing, and the Ayapa berry. The Citrus berry and the Lepa berry are, in my opinion, the 2 most valuable of the berries, as the Lepa berry restores PP, and you don't find them in items. In fact, you actually only find them on the ground. You cannot buy PP restoring items. The Citrus berry is a healing item that restores 1/3 of your HP when you drop below half. And this is not a set number. It's not like the Oran berry where it restores only 10 HP. This is 1/3 of your max HP anytime. It doesn't matter if it's a level 5 Pokemon or a level 50 Pokemon. This is extremely useful in tough battles for just getting that extra bit of HP, surviving another hit, and not having to use, say, a potion and waste your turn. And speaking of, actually, into my next topic, we have Days of the Week. This guy. Arthur, who are you? I'm Arthur of Thursday. Here, take this. We obtained the Hard Stone. This is the Days of the Week sibling. This is our first appearance of them. They appear in 7 different locations throughout Johto and give you an item that boosts the power of a certain move type. The Hard Stone boosts the power of rock moves, as we can see from his explanation, and there are going to be 6 others like him that only appear on different days of the week. In-game it is Thursday, so Arthur appears. On Friday, a different one will appear. On Sunday, a different one will appear. On Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Other siblings will appear in different locations. It's not they all appear in the same location. They all appear in different locations. I'm not the biggest fan of this idea, mostly as these items are very helpful. This isn't, say, oh, here's some useless arbitrary item that you're never going to use, like TM Attract or Captivate or whatever it is. These are very useful items that boost the power of certain moves by 10%. Early game, that's pretty powerful. There's also one type boosting item for every move type, excluding Fairy, because think RKS Fairy does not exist at this point. And there actually is another one we'll be able to get today. Today, there is another one of the siblings on this route. So I'm just going to go cut ahead to when it's Friday and get that item. Now to finish up a few things that we forgot on Route 32. Frida. Yahoo! It's Friday! I'm Frida. Friday, nice to meet you. Here's a poison barb for you. We obtained the Poison Barb. This is a move that, as the name suggests, boosts the power of poison moves by 10%. Use Pokemon that has poison-type moves. Ooh, it's wicked! You'd be shocked at how good it makes poison types. That is actually not a lie. It really does help poison types. But poison types damage really comes from damage over time by inflicting poison. This helps them do a little extra damage up front, which can be very helpful. And now we should talk to this guy in cap. This area is great for fishing. Looking all around, people fishing. Do you feel like you just want to try some fishing too? Would you like one of my rods? There's that. Not a. No. When you want to go fishing, you face the water with the rod first. Concentrate and look closely at the water. An exclamation point will appear when a Pokemon is taking the bite, so like Solid Snake getting caught. Press the A button quickly to pull back the line. You'll see what happens next. If there's water, be it a stream or be able to see your stream, try your rod. Oh, there's too many jokes. There are just far too many jokes. Of course. Well, there's one more thing that I forgot about, and I don't know exactly if we will be able to get it right now, but I'm going to go check and see if we can. So if we can, I'll just go cut ahead, and if we can't get it, I'll just cut ahead and say that no, we can't get it. Starting off our old rod encounters, we have Poliwag. This is a pretty odd Pokemon. You'll get what I mean later. It starts off evolving into Poliwhirl at level 25, and then from there you have a split evolution. This is the first we've seen since Slowpoke, which, much like it evolves with a King's Rock. However, unlike Slowpoke, to get a Poliwrath, you do not level it up. You have to use a Water Stone. Poliwrath's a bit of an oddball. From its appearance, you'd think it's maybe a hard physical attacker with maybe a special possibility. It does have that, but it's not a hard physical attacker. Its physical attack is only 85, and its special attack is a base 70. It focuses on defense of all things. It has higher defense and higher special defense than both of its attacking stats, and because of its, how shall I say, shallow move pool, it ends up really just using fighting moves. We have better fighting type options in the form of Machop and Heracross, and even, I'd say to an extent, possibly Pinsir, because they also get better moves. Poliwrath is limited to Submission, which is kind of weak and causes recoil damage, but also Dynamic Punch. This is a good move on Machamp, but not so much on Poliwrath. It needs Lock On or Mind Reader, whichever of the two it learns, to fully use this move, which is a 2-turn setup strategy. Unlike Machamp with No Guard, where you just spam Dynamic Punch and it always hits. For this reason, I don't think Poliwrath is that good of an option as a fighting type. It doesn't do the job as a water attacker well either because it's lower special attack, and it does not get any water type moves when evolving it with the Water Stone. It gets some as a Poliwhirl, but again, you're stuck with a unevolved Pokemon for a while to get those moves because Stone Evolutions do not learn moves leveling up most of the time. A few do. Poliwrath is one of the exceptions. There are a few others we're going to be encountering, but most of the moves they learn are at very high levels. You're not going to be seeing them before the end of the game. For its other evolution is Politoed. In my opinion, this is the better of the two. You get this by trading while holding a King's Rock, similar to Slowking, and much like Slowking, it actually has a special focus in terms of defense. A 100 base special defense and a 90 base special attack aren't too bad. That's higher than either of Poliwrath's attacking stats. It does benefit from its special-based water move pool significantly more than Poliwrath benefits from its fighting-type special move pool. Able to learn moves like Surf and use them quite well, as well as just also having moves like Hypnosis, which, while Poliwrath also does get them, this one does have a bit more offense to go with it. I'd say go for Politoed over Poliwrath, just because you have better stats and a better move pool. Next on our list of old rod encounters, we have Magikarp. At first glance, this thing looks unimpressive. At level 15, it first learns Tackle as its first offensive move, and until then, it's stuck using Splash, a move that does no damage. But if you have the patience to level this thing up to level 20, you are greatly rewarded with Gyarados, one of the best physical attackers in the game. This thing has amazing stats. As a physical attacker, it does well, as I've said. It gets useful moves like Waterfall, which is an HM, as well as a physical water move that Gyarados greatly benefits from. Defense isn't too terrible, and its special defense is fantastic. Other moves it gets that are non-stab are Outrage, which is a great Dragon-type move to deal with dragons, which most Pokemon have a difficult time dealing with. Gets Ice Fang. Orange can do pretty well as another move to use in situations where you might not want to be locked into using just Outrage or Water is resisted. And Dragon Rage is a good move for early in the game. Always deals 40 damage. Considering when you're at the start of the game, not a lot of Pokemon have a lot of health. So a move that takes 40 damage out of your HP regardless is pretty powerful, as well as it does do well against Pokemon with just high natural defense that normal attacks, well, not normal attacks, regular attacks, don't really do a lot of damage against. All in all, Gyarados is a fantastic Pokemon. The only downside I can say it has, that Flying type is a liability. It doesn't get any Flying type moves with the exception of Bounce, which is a move tutor exclusive move on Magikarp, and it makes it take more damage from electric types, as well as it makes it vulnerable to Rock, one of the type that water counters. Gyarados is a good Pokemon. If you have the patience to level up a Magikarp to level 20, you are greatly rewarded, and Intimidate is a fantastic ability, cutting the opponent's attack. Really not much more you could ask for in a Pokemon that only takes, 15 levels to level up and evolve? Next up we have Goldeen, another useless looking red fish, only in this case, this fish actually is useless. Compared to Magikarp, Goldeen is better, but compared to Gyarados, Seaking is not. Seaking also takes significantly longer to evolve, being level 33 rather than level 20. Playthrough, a Goldeen doesn't really end up doing much more than physical water attacks, which is exactly what Gyarados does, and is also worse at it. Later in the game, it does get Mega Horn and Horn Drill, but that is not until significantly later into the game, while Gyarados gets much better moves earlier on, to the point where they're actually usable for a decent portion of the story. It's kind of ironic. How Seaking used to be the original Waterfall user, and now Gyarados has surpassed it. Ending off our Water-type Old Rod encounters, we have Tentacool. This is a bit of an interesting Pokemon. It's a poison water type which covers up its weakness to grass, and its water typing can allow it to counter some ground types, which tend to be double weak to water. Statistically, it has not terrible physical attack as a Tentacruel, and okay special attack. Where it really shines isn't offense, but rather defense. Its physical defense is somewhat unimpressive, base 65, but its special defense is 120. That's pretty high. It also has unusually high speed, base 100. This thing can go pretty fast, use, say, something like Poison Jab, Sludge Bomb, or even Toxic, poison the opponent, set up Barrier, and just basically poison stall an opponent if you want to play that way. It doesn't have much in terms of out-and-out damage. It plays very much like a traditional poison type, where it statuses an opponent, sets up defenses, and basically just holds out while poison slowly chips down the opponent. Doesn't do too bad as a water attacker when there's a double weakness involved. However, we are going to be encountering another tanky water type in the future that is also a special attacker, so unless you have a personal attachment, I'd say wait until that other water type comes out before making any final determinations. Okay, so it seems that it seems that you actually can get the move I'm thinking about. Hit over here. Oh, these are better, actually pretty high level, okay. Not bad for training. Let's just get the Zubat and get the move I wanted. The move down here that I was thinking of is TM Rock Tomb. This is an interesting move. It actually slows down the opponent if it hits. It has an 80% accuracy and a 50 power. If it hits, it lowers the opponent's speed, which is quite useful on slow Pokemon that are like rock types, which tend to be a lot slower than most Pokemon. This allows them to kind of get an edge up by decreasing the opponent's speed to make their speed more even, or using a fast Pokemon to lower the opponent's speed for a slower tanky Pokemon to finish off. I don't know which item ball here in front of us, and then over to the right. Yes, Team Rock Team, there we go. I'm not going to be teaching this to my Onix, as there is another move that Onix gets in about 3 levels that has the same base power as Rock Tomb, but has higher accuracy. One thing, speaking of rocks, one thing I neglected to mention about shards is, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you get shards by using Rock Smash. Places where you can use this are the Ruins of Alph, as there's a lot of rocks around there to use Rock Smash on. You can get a lot of different items from this, revives, which we aren't going to be seeing in in Pokemarts for a while, shards of course, and fossils. Fossils are not going to be useful to us for pretty far into post-game. You don't get the ability to restore Pokemon from fossils, so I'm not going to be going over them in bios because you can't use them. Other than that, Rock Smash is pretty useful. I want Rock Smash to be really useful just because whenever they have a place to use Rock Smash on, there's a lot of rocks. It's not like, oh, here's just one rock. You have to go crush the rock, go back, crush the rock, go back, crush the rock, go back, just off-screen the rock multiple times. No, there's 4 or 5 of them. Just go off-screen in a place that's really close by, go back in, and just keep grinding that. It's very useful, and there's a lot of useful items. As I said, revives, and I believe max revives can be gotten from certain locations or all of them. Heart scales, we're not going to have a use for those for a long time, but those are very invaluable to you. And the big ones are ethers and elixirs. I believe you can get ethers and elixirs, as well as the max versions of both of them, from Rock Smash. These do restore PP, some of the Lepberry. Only these are not as reliable to get. We will soon be able to grow berries, so just getting one Lepberry will allow you to grow as many of them as you want. I'd recommend waiting until we get that thing before grinding berries to infinity on grinding shards at the Ruins of Alph and then just trading them to that guy, because all you gotta do is just get one or 2, and then you can just start growing them as all you please. Well, you've already seen me go through this entire place, and I felt like really not going to show you guys this again with a different team. So let's just get into this fight against Bugsy. I'm Bugsy. I never lose when it comes to bug-type Pokemon. My research is going to make me the authority. My research is going to make me the authority on bug-type Pokemon. Cannot read. Let me demonstrate what I've learned from my studies. Alright, so this is going to be the SoulSilver team run of this fight. Alright, Scyther comes up first. Okay. Well, this is going to be extremely easy. This is going to be even easier than I thought. I expected him to go for U-turn on. Honestly, of course. Oh, Scyther. Quad weakness, same type attack bonus, hard stone. That's a little surprising. I actually did not expect... There we go, there's the U-turn. Oh, crap. That was a critical hit, right? Okay, yeah, it was a critical. What the freak? Super potion. Okay, that's not good. Alright. Rock throw. I hope that Rock throw doesn't miss a second time. Well, third time actually against Scyther, because if it does, we're screwed. When I was focus energy, that's why I got a crit on me. Look at that. 113012. That's surprised that speed's actually going up. No, I'm not going on Rock Tomb. Actually, don't know one. I'll actually replace. I'll replace Bind. I'm probably not going to use Rock Tomb that much, as it is the same power as Rock Throw, but less accurate. But if I run out of Rock Throw, I'll use Rock Tomb just for same attack bonus and go for the hit. Alright, Scyther's back out. U-turn again. They're not get a second crit. Alright. Okay, this is when things start to get interesting. Rock Throw miss, okay. I have a feeling Rock Throw is not going to KO. Unless it's a crit. Good. Actually, I'm going to switch out. Go for sacrifice play. I normally don't like doing sacrifice plays when it comes to Pokemon, but considering that not half defense, the low to defense its Leer got me off on, if it gets another critical hit, just a lucky crit, which I know is going to happen, knowing my luck. And Onyx has its HP fully restored. It's going for the U-turn. You can't leave this time. There we go. Hang in there just a little more. Oh, you're not going to be hanging in there much longer. Oh, this is funny. It actually thinks it's going to survive. I swear, if this is a crit. My god. So much experience. So much experience. That's what's for, nice. Yeah, that shows why even with a quad weakness on it, it wasn't really doing that much damage. Onyx has very low attack. Even with the critical, not even critical hit, even with a double weakness, it didn't do much, considering it is a double weakness. Okay, now that we have the bug badge, hive badge, not bug badge, we were able to use oh my, I can't speak. We were able to use the HM cut outside of battle. We have not received such an HM, but we're probably going to be in the near future. And we also got TMU turn, which is the same move that his bug 60 base power makes you switch out. A lot of Pokemon can learn this, mostly flying types is the non-bug type Pokemon that I've seen that's able to use this. It's a pretty good move. Though if the opponent has set up entry hazards on you, it is most certainly not a good move. So let's go heal up. And I now remember my rival is going to go get me when I try to go to the Ilex Forest. Not going to fall for that. There's a lot of times I just play Pokemon games in general, where I just forget the rival is going to be there, well, rival is going to be in a certain location, go in there with a half-damaged party, and have to pull out some shenanigans to win. I very rarely go into a rival battle, aside from the kind of obvious ones, with a fully healed up party. I only remember this one because I have gotten caught in this one with a half-damaged party after fighting Bugsy more than I care to admit. Well, we need to get a Pokemon that can able to learn that move Cut, because looking at a Pokemon right now, I would be willing to teach it to, or able to learn it. I'm pretty sure Leatherhead would be able to learn it, but I do not want an HM on a Pokemon I'm going to be using a lot. HMs, as they mentioned before, are very hard for Pokemon to forget. Cut is pretty weak, and it's not Surf or Waterfall, which are pretty good HM moves, which most people would like to teach their Pokemon. This is cut. This is a bad move. We haven't gotten it yet, but trust me, it's bad. I'm going to be catching a Pokemon to teach cut too. And speaking of cut, this guy's Farfetch'd are, well, not his Farfetch'd, his, mentor, I think is the word. Master? I don't know what the specific term would be, but I'm probably saying mentor. He's lost his mentor's Farfetch'd, and we have to go get him back. I noticed you. We have to step on these branches in a strategic way to get the Farfetch'd turned around so we can sneak up behind it and grab it. Snuck up behind, caught it from behind. We snuck up and caught it from behind. Wow, you got the Farfetch'd. Thank you. But there's one more missing. If you step on a branch, remember, you catch it slowly. This one is a lot less straightforward. The first one is kind of meant to introduce you to the idea of the Farfetch'd with the turning around and everything. This one is a bit more complicated. You have to get it to, you have to force it to move into a certain direction and get into a certain position before you can get it. Its starting position, you cannot get it.